the best poker players you'll ever see. But who will be champion of this Premier League tonight? Hootie meets the Devilfish. We know 2-ton Phil Hellmuth is sharpening his claws, but is the Devilfish's bark worse than his bite? Two of the greatest poker players of all time from either side of the pond. This is a classic rivalry.
What do I think of Phil Hellmuth? I think if he was made out of chocolate, he would have fed himself by now because he loves himself.
Things really heated up in match 3 when Phil Hellmuth cracked the Devilfish's aces.
Wow, you gave me a speech with aces.
Got you to put all your money in.
What am I going to do with nines? What are you, some kind of genius?
You're probably going to catch a 9. That's what you're going to do if you're shaking already.
If you're listening, baby, I'm going home tomorrow. You can finish the show yourself. I don't give a flying fuck.
You were a little bit rude there.
Bullshit.
Next time, it was Devilfish bluffing to come out on top.
You get tangled up with me one more time, and we're at war.
Who will win the rubber match as this clash reaches epic proportions? Points don't matter, money out the window, it's personal.
I've got him wound up already when I play the hand.
If you carry on like this, they're going to make you play in a straitjacket. You know that, don't you? You're going to have to push your chips in with that big head of yours.
Devilfish versus Hellmuth, the best in the UK versus the best in the world. Round 3, baby. It's going to be crazy.
Remember, in this league format, it's points awarded based on where the players finish in each fixture of the 12-match season. After the 12-game season, it depends. Will you go forward or go home? And right now, Hellmuth and Eddie Sharp in very good form. For Andy Black and Ian Fraser, tonight's about putting points on the board. But what about Tony G and the Devilfish? They're in the relegation zone, and is tonight do or die? Go! The betting starts before the cards are even dealt.
I don't want it to be close.
Hellmuth and Tony G around the table.
It didn't finish.
What? Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, Hellmuth is disqualified. Disqualified. Pay up. You went over this bit. You're disqualified.
You got disqualified.
Disqualified. You went up on the red bit.
I think the both should be at home or playing in a sandpit somewhere. I mean, does the mother know they're out?
Talk later.
So I'm the judge.
So you're ruling us a draw?
I'm ruling you both disqualified, and if you want, you can run again.
How you like that, Fish?
In my opinion, if he's gone the other way around, bumped into you and knocked you onto this bit, how can you be disqualified?
No kidding.
Sorry, Tony, but I got to tell you. I got to say it as I say.
You owe me 1,000, Tony. If you don't pay, that's all right. But I'm gonna hold it against you.
Godzilla takes on the Titanic tonight. This heat has everything set up for it. And Roland, obviously everybody looking at the match between the Devilfish and Phil Hellmuth, who have been going at it like gangbusters. Hellmuth knocked out first the last time he played.
Hellmuth started off winning the first 3 that he played. That's very impressive. And now he's come back with 0 points, and him and the Fish were at each other's throats the whole time. This is going to be bombastic tonight.
I was tipping this guy $40 for setting the limo up. And the limo wasn't there, so I said, let me wait till it gets here. I didn't want to tip him and have him walk away.
Everyone's looking forward to this one. 3 of the loudest and most respected players in the game at the table. Raised to 6,000 by Hellmuth. Sharf is going to need earplugs before this one's over. Look at that. Hellmuth on his right, Tony G on his left.
Oh. Can't help it, huh, Tony?
No. Tony G's cold. We're going to see a flop.
There's too much value to resist.
Plus, I mean, you can always bluff me like Fish did every pot, right?
How come I've gone from fishy to fish? I mean, fishy was quite friendly.
Check.
They've both missed. Will Hellmuth fire?
Check.
I don't think I have any of that. I better just check.
Check.
Give him a free card.
He's in a great mood
Give me
today.
a free card. Because I have my usual nothing over here.
You're both getting a free card.
7.
It's starting to set up like yesterday. I kept picking up the ace kings and ace queens. And he probably bluffed me. He might have like the 10 jack.
I guarantee we showed him the jack. What do you think?
You see, Tony G did nothing wrong there, but I have to criticize Hellmuth's play. He He didn't bet the flop, and he missed a chance. He was doing that a lot last week.
That's the strategy I took against Fish yesterday, is I was going to let him bluff me a couple of times. I intentionally decided to do that. Everybody's going to bust themselves at the 3,000-6,000 levels. I'll just sit here and only play premium hands. How hard is that?
You can see Phil has a lot of confidence from the fact that he's 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League.
Pass.
But Roland,
Pass.
if Phil does go out first again, he'll start to look much more human in this table, won't he? I mean,
He'd also lose the momentum, and it's possible that the other players will gain confidence. He's also got to remember that the format of this competition means that points gained in the league equal chips in the final.
yeah, he needs to work on that. And the Fish, calling on the big blind, has hit a massive flop.
Check. 4.
Is this flop so big he doesn't want to raise?
You hit the flop that big, or do you miss it on?
I think it's big. It's big enough for him that he can take a free card, especially with Tony G.
Call.
It's a bit dicey now, isn't it?
It's a bad card for Dave Elliott, but he's still going to be pretty confident he has the best hand.
Check.
Tony G's liable to fire twice,
Check.
but wisely decides to check behind him. A king would be a hammer blow for Elliott.
There's another clean ball.
What kind of bet is that?
7.
That's a defensive bet. Now, if Tony G had any part of the flop, Dave isn't winning. He doesn't know that Tony only has a 10 jack. What's going through Tony's mind right now is, can I get Dave off this hand?
If you call me, it'll probably be a split pot.
If he's going to call, he really should raise, shouldn't he?
Well, there's a chance that the board is good. 2 pairs with the ace kicker. So he can call. Tony G is really convincing himself in his head to call here. He loves to call, Tony G.
They play these hands so crafty, Roland, everyone in this field, that it gets to a point where a guy is either bluffing or he's got the nuts.
Split pot?
It does. Sometimes it looks like if they don't have the great hand that they're representing, they really are going to have nothing, and a queen high can be good. Here, Tony's calling for half, if he's calling. In Australia, to win is good, but to not be bluffed is better, it seems.
I mean, hasn't Tony taken so long now that he really can't raise?
He definitely can't raise after this delay, but he can call.
Oh.
That's what he's done.
One about flop for my hand.
Tiger.
One about
You
flop.
see, in Australia, it's one thing winning money in poker, but not to be bluffed is the key. Tony G is a calling station.
Pride cometh before money.
Tony G is a real calling station. He didn't come out today to be bluffed. He never comes out to be bluffed. This is a man who does not like to pass hands. And he's just showed that by calling with the board.
I want to beat people, especially if they're big names. I'm ready to take those guys on and to call them down, to make the brilliant play against them. So I'm not afraid. And I love it. I love the game. It's so exciting. Being part of this Premier League is just fun. Despite being wherever on the ladder, you enjoy every day because it's a great concept, and sincerely I hope it's the future of poker for professional players. I think this is the nuts.
This matchup between Devilfish and Phil Hellmuth, the only thing they like to talk about as much as themselves is each other.
His ego is hurt now because I did him last match. I saw him up like a kipper last match, you know, and his ego is really hurting now because he knows that he got very lucky to beat me the match before when he beat my aces and he beat me with a 5-7 and lots of rubbish, you know. So he didn't prove anything that time. All he proved was that he was very lucky. Then the next time I've run all over him at poker. So now his ego's in bad state. So today, you know, he's got to prove a point.
Last time, Devilfish bluffed me 4 straight pots. The time before that, I was making all kinds of big bluffs on him that were working. So one day I kind of ran him over, one day he kind of ran me over. I didn't know he was